Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Pirates Round. I'm David. Today, we're going to be talking about Archibald MacDonnell, a Spanish Guarda Costa commander who has some really spicy special rules. He is not well known as far as I'm aware, so I'll be bringing him to you today and explaining why I think he's good. And before we get into the video, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the ship's bell so you get notified whenever a new video comes out. Before we go too far, just want to say that I'm going to be talking a lot about what I think his role in a 250 point game will be. That's kind of where I focus my commentary a lot because 250 is the standard tournament size. In other larger games or smaller games, his effectiveness will vary because there's less or more room to do the cool things that McDonnell can do. Okay, let's talk about his abilities. He has four abilities, two of which I think are very spicy and make him worth playing. He has Commodore, which lets you give orders to boats at longer range. So if you wanted to play like a double Piragua, double Barco Luengo, double Balandra, you could give that a shot and utilize Commodore. He has Inspiring, which normally you would get from the Mission Priest, but it's rolled into his character. And then you have Determination, which is super awesome for one specific purpose, and that is for Spanish artillery. Determination says that all of your trained and veteran units must exchange Ruthless for Tough. Now, Ruthless is -1 to fight in small arms when you have less fatigue than your opponent. Tough lets you take a free rally test with a single D10 if you did not push or gain any fatigue during your activation. Now, one of those rules works with artillery way better than the other. Tough is especially good for artillery crews because artillery crews don't want to get shaken. It's basically a free rally test with a single D10 after your rally action during your turn. So it's basically a bonus rally that you get at the end of your activation. And you have Inspiring on Archibald MacDonnell. So he is able to command point rally with Inspiring. And if you don't pick everything up with that Inspiring reroll, Tough will hopefully get you there. It's really important because a shaken gun crew is just a malfunctioning gun crew. Gun crews have to unshake, so they have to rally their fatigue, and then they have to stand up. And when you stand up, it counts as having moved. So when you stand up, you cannot fire artillery in the same activation as when you stand up because it counts as a move. So shaken gun crews are really bad. Is the point? And Determination and Inspiring together help you mitigate that problem. There is another commander in a different army, Peralta in Armada de Barlovento, who has very Inspiring. So he would allow you to re-roll the tough die, which is even more crazy. But Peralta Archibald is not, and that is a good thing because he has another really cool special rule called Expert Ambushers, which we're going to talk about now. Expert Ambusher says that everybody who is near him can take moves while prone. We don't care about that for ship games. But what we do care about is that everybody in his command range gains the Hard Chargers special rule. So Hard Chargers makes up for the switch from Ruthless to Tough. So if you have, say, a unit of Vizcanos who are 5 fight, your Hard Chargers brings that down to 4. The Vizcanos has Brace of Pistols. So you've got 4s rerolling, which is going to absolutely slap. And Hard Chargers goes on Marineros as well. It goes on anything that had to, or anything, literally anything that's within command range of Archibald, despite no matter what it is. And so there's a couple of units that really synergize with Expert Ambushers, and Vizcanos is one of them. Sea Dogs is another, and Marineros is the third. And I think any crew that Archibald is going to be building should really focus on Vizcanos, Sea Dogs, and Marineros. So we've scrolled down now to the unit selection for Guarda Costa. I just wanted to say that we've picked Spanish Corsairs because that's the sub-faction that MacDonnell leads. Let's start with Marineros. Marineros are going to be your primary gun crew because what you're going to do is you're going to put a master gunner with them to give them expert artillery crew because they already have just regular artillery crew. So you downgrade them just to standard melee to make them cheap. You put a master gunner in them to give them expert artillery crew, and they're going to be your primary gun crew. Now, on a brigantine, you have or a flute, you have some like evenly split guns, so it doesn't matter quite as much how many models are in it. Um, I usually put 9 if I've got 2 mediums because that gives me one sort of what I would call a round of casualties before I have to worry about reloading too slowly. The trick with here, though, is that the Marineros are trading Ruthless for Tough, which, like I said earlier in the video, lets you remain unshaken, which is really, really crucial. Um, and of course, they're going to get expert artillery crew and the extra reload command point from the Master Gunner. Marineros also, in a pinch, have a 5 fight, which goes down to 4 with hard chargers. So if you do have to get them off the guns and into the fight, they're going to hit pretty hard, hitting on 4s. I usually take their pistols away to make them cheap. There is an argument for keeping their pistols because you get the reroll in the melee combat on the charge. So that is definitely a good argument for keeping pistols on your gun crew. Next unit we're going to look at is Vizcanos. Vizcanos are your kind of elite boarding unit. I usually downgrade them to trained because they don't need that many actions. They don't need as many actions as veteran would give it to them. I like to put a Hidalgo fighting man in a unit of Vizcanos because he gives you a free grapple test off of impulsive. Um, the impulsive keyword for a unit says that if you activate on a spade or a heart, you have to attempt a charge. And when you attempt that charge, you are going to get a free grapple. So I think I mentioned this in the Corsa video. If I didn't, my apologies, but that's just part of what Spain does with Hidalgos. They like to get the free grapple test on the spade or heart and go in and do some murder. Um, Hard charges puts them at a 4 fight. They have brace of pistols. They have a 6 fight save, which is really important for the durability because once they get into hard cover, they become extremely difficult to dislodge. Their save goes to a 60%. So yeah, that's the benefit of having a 5-up save in a hard cover situation is that you're very elite at that point, and it's very hard to kill you once you get on board the enemy ship. Basically, I ignore their shoot score. We don't usually bring muskets on them. I've tried like muskets with plug bayonets. It doesn't really work. If you're going to go that route, you probably want like Jamaican privateers or something you can downgrade to an experience. You just get a huge like ball of musketeers and go that route. But the 6 shoot save really important on the way in. Plus, if you're not shooting and you're not using ruthless, you get tough on Vizcanos. So Vizcanos are going to remove their fatigue, which is great because not only do you want to have no fatigue, just in general, you also want to have no fatigue if you get boarded. So because you are a cannon boat and other people might be trying to board you, and if you are uh, fatigued, you are going to not be able to defensively fire with your brace of pistols. So tough is even better in the defense department. So just something to keep in mind on your Vizcanos. You can also give Vizcanos brawlers with a cook, so you can get exploding tens on top of your hard chargers, on top of your brace of pistols reroll. So there's lots of it becomes a very explosive unit. Um, Once they charge, they are going to hit extremely hard, and your opponent is going to be if they can't defensive fire before you get in there, they are going to be suffering. It is not it is not pretty. The deck will be covered in blood. Yeah, so Vizcanos under MacDonnel, super strong, hard chargers, tough Vizcanos. Definitely one of the big reasons I looked at MacDonnell. I give MacDonnell a second look. Next, we've got Sea Dogs, and I wanted to mention Sea Dogs because of a few reasons. One is that they have a 6 fight save and they're incredibly cheap if you downgrade them. So they're going to be very hard to kill in melee. They have the same shoot save as a Marinero, so they're no better in that department. They have expert artillery crew native, so they make for a great second artillery piece that is not crewed by a master gunner, since you can only take one master gunner. Some people might ask me why not Z Leiden. Well, Z Leiden have hard chargers native. It kind of overlaps with the expert ambushers. So I looked at Sea Dogs because Sea Dogs get brawlers native. So if you end up in a situation where your Sea Dogs are hopping off the cannons and using their brawlers keyword, you get something extra, and you get your sailors become expert sailors because Guarda Costa says all sailors become expert sailors. So you have a unit now, a Sea Dogs unit with expert artillery crew, brawlers, sailors, and hard expert sailor and hard chargers. So some of you might be wondering, hey, where is this all headed? And I've put together a Archie Guarda Costa Sloop of War list, which I think is going to be fairly effective. Again, it's a prototype. I haven't actually put this on the table yet, so please take this with a grain of salt. Make your own modifications. If you want to copy it, I'm going to put the link in the description. But again, it's Archie MacDonnell. We've got 2 units of Vizcanos, downgraded to trained. We've got some Sea Dogs on a set of cannons and Marineros on another set of cannons with a master gunner. One of the Vizcanos has a cook, and the other Vizcanos has a Hidalgo. The Sea Dogs, I believe, have a sharp-eyed lookout to try to get the weather gauge on your opponent and sail aggressively. And then I think I already mentioned the master gunner on the Marineros. So once again, it's a 4 medium brigantine hull, sailing as a sloop of war. Chain shot, grape shot. I took all 4 copies. I took freshly careened hull to get that free move. This list wants to sail very aggressively, get close to the enemy, dump all of its grape shot, and then board. That is kind of the way it works to get the most out of hard chargers. You're trying to generate enough fatigue from the grape shot to make a window for you to board. There's definitely room to flex here. We might like take one Vizcano out, add some stink pots somewhere. There's lots of ways to edit this list. Again, it's kind of a prototype at this stage. Haven't had a chance to play it. Looking forward to playing it on the table. I'm going to put the link in the description. Thanks for watching this video on Archibald MacDonnell, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.